Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam episode number 75. This is one of those special issues where Thirukkolur Penpillai is talking about an incident from Swami Ramanuja's life, and the person with whom she is comparing, she is benchmarking, is none other than one of Swami Ramanuja's spiritual master or acharyas. Now, just to give a small recap, Swami Ramanuja had 5 different spiritual masters, and he learnt something from each of those 5 masters. We have already seen Thirukkolur Penpillai comparing herself with some of the acharyas' qualities in the past episodes. In our current episode, she is benchmarking with the qualities demonstrated by one of the acharyas, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal. Now, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, he was a resident of Tirumala Hills, the abode of Lord Venkateshwara, Lord Srinivasa, Lord Balaji, by the various names he is called. Apart from being the spiritual acharya for Swami Ramanuja, he was Swami Ramanuja's maternal uncle as well. When Swami Ramanuja took the decision to go for sannyasa or renunciation of the worldly life, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal felt very happy, and he was satisfied and contented that his own sister's son had taken this great path, and he was sure that through Swami Ramanuja would show the path of Bhakti or spiritual advancement, spiritual enlightenment to the world at large. Now, Thirukkolur Penpillai is benchmarking against one of the qualities of Periya Thirumalai Nambigal in her Bhakti Rahasyam statement to Swami Ramanuja. She says, "Did I consider myself insignificant like Periya Thirumalai Nambigal?" Now, we will go to that incident a bit later in the episode on why and how he considered himself insignificant. Now, at one point in time, Swami Ramanuja felt to go and visit the abode of Lord Venkateshwara in Tirumala. So, along with his devotees, he started to take the trek to Tirumala Hills. Now, today the scenario is totally different. There are well paved roads, motorable roads, even for people who wish to undertake a trek to the hills. There are footpaths, there are well provided staircase. So, amenities are there today as compared to, say, 1000 years back, when it was an adventurous jungle trek. That's how I would put it. So when Swami Ramanuja started his journey along with his disciples, his heart was filled with the thoughts of Lord Venkateshwara and the various devotees who had served Lord Venkateshwara in the past. So his mind was racing to the poems sung by the great Azhwars and other great saints who had sung in the praises of Lord Venkateshwara. Now, at one point in time, he feels, when he is thinking about this poem sung by Kulasekara Azhwar in the Divya Prabandham, where Kulasekara Azhwar feels that instead of leading a kingly life, he should become some object in the Tirumala hills, so that he can constantly and continuously witness Lord Venkateshwara in any form. He can feel the presence of Lord Venkateshwara, and equally the Lord will bestow his grace on him. So he has sung 10 different verses where Kulasekara Alvar compares himself, or he wishes to be one or the other object in the Tirumala hills. Now when Swami Ramanuja's mind went into that poem, he was meditating on that poem, he felt, oh, the great saints, the great devotees have taken some or the other form on this divine, in this divine hills. So it would be wrong for me to set my foot on these hills. So first he feels that he will not climb the Tirumala hills, to which his disciples, followers come and tell him that if he takes that decision of not climbing the hills, then people who come subsequently, who come later in the times to come, they would feel, oh, Swami Ramanuja has taken this call, so even we should not climb Tirumala hills. This way, people would be bereft of having darshan of the Divine Lord, to which Swami Ramanuja felt it was a logical point. So he feels, instead of setting his foot, which he felt that it was very disrespectful to set the foot on hills where the devotees are present in some form or the other, he takes a decision to climb the Tirumala hills on his knees. What to say about the devotion of Swami Ramanuja towards the Lord as well as his devotees? Even in today's context, if we see, to climb Tirumala hills from the base point, which is Alipiri, or it's a place near Tirupati, from that base point to climb the Tirumala hills through normal footpath or the stairs which have been constructed, it takes usually 3 to 4 hours depending on the person's age, fitness, etc. That too on a normal climb. Now imagine Swami Ramanuja 1000 years back without any amenities. He did not even use his foot to climb, on his knees. How much time it would have taken, but yet it was his staunch faith and his respect for the great devotees of the Lord. So he starts his climb on his knees. Needless to say how arduous or tiresome it would have been, but for the devotees whose minds are ever present in the Lord, nothing seems to be an impossible task. Just for an out of the story reference I would like to give, great saints like Swami Ramanuja himself, Sri Shankaracharya, they toured the length and breadth of our nation on foot. Sri Shankaracharya lived only for 32 years. Swami Ramanuja lived for 120 years. Yet these great saints achieved the spread of message of spiritual knowledge, spiritual enlightenment by just touring the length and breadth of the country. So somehow the devotees have, with the faith in the Lord, with their minds merged in the Lord, nothing seems to be an impossible task for them, and that's how Swami Ramanuja was climbing on his knees. At one point in time, it gets really tiresome and he stops at a point to take some rest because even his knees are badly bruised. So that place where he stopped in his journey on the way to Tirumala Hills, it exists even today. It is called Mokala Mettu in Telugu, where it literally means the place where Swami Ramanuja stopped for rest to stretch his knees. Now, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, who resided in the Tirumala Hills, he came to know that Swami Ramanuja was carrying on this trek to Tirumala Hills on his knees. He immediately felt happy that a sannyasi was coming to Tirumala, so he got all the flowers, fruits, the divine offering or prasada of the Lord, collecting everything in a plate. He starts coming down to meet Swami Ramanuja. Now, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal is very old in his age. At even such an advanced age, he climbed down the hills carrying all the offerings all by himself. Now he meets Swami Ramanuja midway at the place where Swami Ramanuja is resting, and he comes with the offering. Swami Ramanuja immediately bows down to Periya Thirumalai Nambigal and he asks, why have you come down with all these offerings, carrying such a weight, coming downhill at such an advanced age? Why did you take all such pains? You could have sent someone junior to, or you could have asked someone junior to carry all this along with you. So this is, Swami Ramanuja is asking in a normal way as to why he took those pains to come down. But Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, he gave a different answer. He interpreted the word junior in a different way. He says, "Oh Swami Ramanuja, I searched the entire Tirumala Hills to see if there was someone junior in devotion, if there was someone junior in qualities, in the attitude of worship. There was no one. Everyone was doing devotion. Everyone had the best of the qualities. Everyone had the best of the attitudes. Service to the Lord. Everyone was doing it perfectly. I was the only one who lacked all this. Hence, there was no one junior than me. That's why I came down by myself." Now, what a great lesson in humility Periya Thirumalai Nambigal is demonstrating here. In spite of his advanced age, he had a lot of personal experiences with Lord Venkateshwara. In fact, there is a place called Akasha Ganga, which is a few kilometers away from the Tirumala temple. So that's a place from which the water for the sacred bath of Lord Venkateshwara is fetched from that particular source. Now, this Akasha Ganga has a small story behind it, and Lord Venkateshwara himself had created this space called Akasha Ganga, from which a stream water source comes out, from which the water is fetched for the Lord's sacred bath. Now, earlier, at the time of Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, this place from which the water was sourced was a bit far off, and Periya Thirumalai Nambigal himself used to undertake that devotional service of going to that far off place, fetching the water and coming back to the temple for undertaking the Lord's spiritual bath. Now, the Lord, with his utmost mercy and grace on Periya Thirumalai Nambigal, he got this place which was nearer to the temple called Akasha Ganga. So, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal had many such personal experiences with the Lord. The point here to say is he was no way junior in devotion or the qualities, attitude, service to the Lord. He was the best, but yet he considered himself to be insignificant. He said, I lack all those qualities. Everyone else has those qualities, has devotion in at their fullest, but I don't have those qualities. Now this is very, very difficult for people like us, where we have achieved so-called things in life, yet we fill our heads with so much pride and ego. I have achieved this, I have achieved that, I have done this degree, I have scored high in this examination, I am in this post, in this organization, Fortune 500 companies, what not. Yet, here was a great devotee of the Lord. In spite of knowing Lord Venkateshwara personally, he felt that he was nothing, he was insignificant. Now, this is the incident which Thirukkolur Penpillai captures in her Bhakti Rahasyam. She feels that how great Periya Thirumalai Nambigal was. In spite of such great spiritual achievements, he was so humble, down to earth. So Thirukkolur Penpillai says, did I consider myself insignificant like Periya Thirumalai Nambigal? This is her Bhakti Rahasyam statement. So definitely a lesson for humility for all of us. In spite of achieving so many things, we can still be humble, we can be down to earth, we can treat our fellow men with respect. And if we start demonstrating this quality of humility, it is infectious. It starts encouraging others to be humble and treat everyone else with respect. So that was the content of our Bhakti Rahasyam number 75, where we learn the values of humility, respect, and being high in devotion from Periya Thirumalai Nambigal. The story after that is Swami Ramanuja climbs the Tirumala hills and he learnt Ramayana for 1 full year from Periya Thirumalai Nambigal. So, Periya Thirumalai Nambigal was a spiritual master who taught Ramayana and the various philosophical explanations, interpretations, nitty-gritties to Swami Ramanuja. So that's all from our current Bhakti Rahasyam. Stay blessed, stay devoted, and stay tuned for our next Bhakti Rahasyam. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.